Yeah, hi everyone, and welcome again. And yes, as Urshka said, my name is Nermin, and today it's not gonna be the usual tech talk. This is gonna be the mindset upgrade talk, and it's a really, really good point, as Deva D said, that we're gonna explore how to lead digital transformation by understanding the human behavior. And you would add that we need to shift from a knowledge economy to a wisdom economy. So today I'm going to speak a lot about the human behavior, behavioral psychology, behavioral biology, and going deeper into it. But also we're going to tackle the idea about the wisdom economy. So let's dive into what that really means, actually. If you want to lead the digital transformation in youth work effectively, you have to start with the real operating system, the human brain. And here is the catch, actually. Our brain isn't built for the innovation, isn't built for the thinking. So the brain is built for survival. It's a deletion machine, it's a predicting machine. So you need to think a lot about that. That means any change, even positive, well-designed change, can feel like a threat to people, especially to the youth. And that's why the digital transition often fail. It's an, it's not about the complexity of the tools. It's more about the clash with the people's sense of safety, control, and identity also. So here, instead of saying we need to train people to use this tool or that tool or something digital, so let's help people to become the kind of individuals who explore, adapt, and also experiment. This is a shift from behavioral level thinking to identity level leadership. And once you tap into identity, change becomes so just possible, but also sustainable. That's what I said. Here, there's something really important, and I now added this slide actually in the last minute changes. So I added this. It's a Maya principle. I don't know if you ever heard about the Maya principle, but it stands for most advanced yet acceptable. Raymond Louis had this idea actually about adding the because the people have neophilia, but they also have neophobia. So you need to find a sweet spot in between these things. If you're making something new, so people need to change. You also need to find something that's familiar for them. So you need to find that sweet spot and do the thing right there. As this really good statement said, the youth or adult public taste is not necessarily ready to accept the logical solution to their requirements. If the solution implies to vast a departure from what they have been conditioned into accepting as the norm. Here, there's something of the statement, so I want to make it interactive, not just speak. So, this is a statement. Schools are teaching us what to think and not how to think. In a digital age, if you want to do something, so you need to teach people how to think, not what to think. Why I'm saying this? Because if you go back and think about what you learn in a school, you will always get something to learn that you need to speak and get a grade. So we're always building the memory. But what about the thinking? We need the critical thinking, we need the creative thinking, we need the 7 other ways of thinking. We also need the musical thinking, and we never speak about it. But also something that's really important, we need to learn how to think through the reading. And that's nobody I saw that's tackling that. So let me ask you the question. With what you can cut the grass, you can watch the stars, and dry the hair. What is that? What do you think? What is that? That you can cut the grass, wash the stars, and dry your hair. Please, anyone. Here is the conditioning as you feel it on your skin right now. That we always think that we have one right answer. But here there is a 3 different answer. You can do it with a towel, you can do it with a cut grasser, you can do with a telescope or something like that, you can watch the stars. So here we have 3 answers. But what is conditioning? Why did I ask the question that, and actually the statement was the school teaches what to think. So this is the example of that. You thought that there is only one answer, and that's how we always think when it comes to solution. We always jump to solution without asking any question. And the wisdom economy, actually always teaches you how to start with a question, not with the answer. So this is a really, really good. From now on, I will get you through the one of the experience of static experience, how the brain works, but also with the audio experience. So what you can hear, and anyone can write down, do you recognize this pattern? Good times are here. So this is how actually pattern works. But if I switch to the next slide, you will see that's not true. So if you receive the bit of the information that you already recognize as a pattern, your brain will complete the whole story. That's how actually brain works. If you get the bit of the information and it's familiar to you, so you're gonna build the whole story around it. Before we continue with the wisdom economy, behavioral labs, I want to get you through the one of the audio experiences to see how actually brain works. Okay, can you hear this? Do you understand what it says? Let me do it again. Can anybody understand what it says? No? Okay. Okay. Let's hear this one.
The floor was quite slippery.
Do you understand that? Let me
The
do it.
floor was quite slippery.
And again.
The floor was quite slippery.
And let's now back to the mystery sound, okay? You understand it now, right? The floor is quite slippery. That's how actually brain works. So if you don't know something, you're not gonna hear it, you're not gonna see it. This is how actually brain works, and that's why it's important when you start building something to understand it. Now let's jump back to wisdom economy, and this is something that in the last 2 years I'm speaking a lot about it. It's really, really important from know more to understand better. Here actually what we are actually it's a talk about the shift that's quietly reshaping everything. We are moving from a knowledge economy to a wisdom economy, and a knowledge economy that focus only on skills, tools, speeds, and producing more. It was all about efficiency, dashboards, data, training, but we are drawing in information now and starving for the meaning. And a wisdom economy actually bring you the meaning. The wisdom economy, it's different. It values interpretation over the information, discernment over the data, and also the purpose over productivity. It's about asking better question. As you saw in a previous actually example with the question and everything, here we have the making smarter decision and leading with the clarity in complexity. As a leaders, that means that we are not just tool pushers anymore. We are sense makers, and that's it's important. It's not how many systems we deploy, it's whether people understand why they matter. So I think that the knowledge is knowing the recipe, but wisdom is knowing when not to cook or when to cook. So I set this maybe for the screenshot to just say it again. Leaders need to become sense makers, not just system implementers. And this is important actually. Here I also prepared, but I'm going to leave it for the end. I built my own ChatGPT bot that works on a lateral thinking and also psychology, behavioral psychology. So we can test it maybe in a few minutes just to get across a few more slides. Actually, what I wanted to tackle is why digital transformation fail, and here is a real digital toolkit actually that build trust. You don't need more tech, more digital tools. You need more insights. Understand how people actually think, lead with the meaning, act like a human. It's really, really important. The wisdom economy the best interface isn't just tools or AI, it's trust. When people trust your vision, the clarity or purpose, the transition becomes not only smoother, but also meaningful for them. So it's important to understand at the first pad. And I'm always, as design thinking says, emphasize. So the first step is to emphasize with people. And from there, you can lead them through the digital transition and to build anything. Also, if you're talking about the tools right now, because I saw a lot of comments there, but also on Mentimeter, there was something about the time to test something in an AI world now. It's so easy to have more time, but it's also easy to build if you don't have any digital tools. Back in the days, you would need like a 9 months, 6 months at least to build some digital tool. Today, we can build it in 3 days or 5 days. A month ago, I built a tool that would do like a 20 people in the team, and it would take like a year to build it, and I built it in 3 days. And I can showcase you later also. Maybe just to tackle this also. Yeah, here's the thing. Actually, people don't resist change. They resist actually being changed. So this is important. More resistant isn't logical, is psychological. If you go to the bottom of the people, there is not logic, but it's a lot of psychology, but also the biology. So we are not logical, we are biological at some sense. So you need to understand better how people actually make decisions. When we introduce new tools or systems, we often unknowingly threaten people's identity or sense of competence. So they feel like they're threatened with something. Maybe even if they know something like 30% or 40% of that, they felt threatened. And that's really important to understand before you continue with the digital transition. That's why behavioral psychology matters. As a leaders or you just work at the side or consultant or something like that, we must work with the human nature, not against it. We need to frame changes as evolution, not disruption. And also, we need to say people that you're gonna become something like a pioneer. You need to give them the purpose. You need to set them as a hero of the story, not just to tell them that this is gonna be the new tool, it's gonna help you or something like that, because they can't see the meaning immediately. If you say to them it's gonna help, it's too abstract for them to understand, because the brain is gonna use the first pattern, that spot pattern, that it's actually more like a association and pattern thinking, not just the sense of belonging or something like that. So if you all agree, maybe we can jump. Yeah, I will jump to the stack. Yeah, because I will go to showcase the bot. Can you see the screen? Innovate?
Yes.
Okay. Here we're gonna just test it. What if the goal of a calendar wasn't to organize time, but to create surprise? So here we say use lateral thinking tools like PO, Scamper, and What If. And if you press it, and you can always ask about the behavioral psychology, especially the cognitive biases. What's important to understand the cognitive biases better. And from there, you can build anything. So here, as you can see, what if technique asks unconventional what if questions. What if days were assigned random experience instead of dates? What if you didn't know tomorrow's theme until midnight? What if the calendar sent you a physical or digital surprise every morning? So this is how you tackle actually the brainstorming ideation before you start understanding everything. So this will give you why we do this before we start building any digital tool or start doing any systems or something like that. Because we are also conditioned into thinking, as you saw previous from my question, that we always think that only one solution is good. Here, when you read everything from here, you will start and get into the river of thinking. Here will activate a lot of patterns in your brain. And from there, you will think differently. And then you can start emphasize with the people from a different perspective. And before giving them any solution or thinking about the solution, ask them questions to understand better. So maybe not just going through all of this, I will showcase you also where to research anything from the internet. This tool, it's called EXA AI, and this is a neural research like a network. Here, if you type anything, what's important, this is like a whole internet organized on one place. And this is a really, really good tool. Here you can set to ask something about the domain or any phrase. Here in category, we have, if you search only for the company or something like a phrase that that company does, or news or paper. From this tool, I gathered a lot of financial resources about the telco companies in Europe. And this is how I actually built the first calculator for compensation and salaries for the telco companies through this tool, actually. And maybe to showcase one more, because we've talked about the digital tools and everything, and this is important. This is allowable. So here for free, you can build a lot of tools. As you can see, everything that I built is here. So with a prompt, without any coding or something like that, you can build. But I will showcase you something that I said. It's the team of 17 people or 20 people. That's going to build like for the 9 months, and I do it for the 5 days. And this is important because it's all without a code. As you can see, I'm just writing what I need, and then this is it. And also you can integrate the chatbot for yourself. If you want to test something that's really good, you can do it all here. And it's the most important part. You can have 5 prompts to 10 a day. So it's a free tool. If we go to backend of this platform, you can see that here we have the whole crypto wallets and everything connected, as you can see, and it's live. Okay, that's it from me. I think